The only one capable of breaking the evil spell.
Can I start?
Yes, please do.
I wonder who the real Drew is. Man seems to ignore the fact that on this very planet there are still people living in the Stone Age and practicing cannibalism.
All right. Breaking news. This just in. Experts say a child under the age of 5 is going to die every 40 seconds because the Trump administration dismantled USAID. And you can read more about this in the latest issue of Things That Aren't True magazine. Hi, everybody. Kenny Webster here for a Friday afternoon roundtable edition of Pursuit of Happiness Radio in the building right now at Steve Loves Ammo. And Don Hooper from the Houston Conservative Forum. You two guys have never met each other before. For those that don't know who these two gentlemen are, Don has been leading the charge in the city of Houston, Texas, to fight for more conservative values and fiscally conservative policies. And basically, the Houston Conservative Forum is exactly what it sounds like. It's been around for years. At Steve Loves Ammo on Twitter is a gun rights guy on X with hundreds of thousands of followers. And you two have a lot in common. You both live near each other, and you've never met each other before. So Don Hooper, who's currently running for Harris County, chair of the Harris County Republican Party, I've endorsed him, is here today to preach his cause. And Steve, of course, really just here on a Friday to have a good time, I think.
Just have a good time, man.
Gentlemen, right now we have, it looks like between X and YouTube, and we're live on the radio, but we're also live on the internet, for those wondering. Between X and Twitter, which is the same thing, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, we have, it looks like we just started. We have a couple thousand people watching right now,
Amazing.
Which is 700 more viewers than Paramount got during their free YouTube premiere of the woke new Star Trek show. It does. How is it possible that the three of us knuckleheads just hanging out on a Friday afternoon is somehow more interesting than Paramount Plus's new Star Trek? What is it? I mean, this isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's just one stupid, silly thing. But there is something to be said about this, about how corporate media is failing and independent media, independent journalists, reporters, personalities. It's not even that we're the future anymore. It's that we're the present, right?
Absolutely.
Why is that? Why did it change? Is it just, I mean, obviously Silicon Valley played a big role in it, but is it more than that?
Yes, I think we do need to go a little bit further back to Al Gore. Because he
invented
created the internet.
Yes.
Dude, absolutely. Like, my hat's off to him. We would not be where we are today without Al Gore.
Yeah.
All right? And I don't know, have you ever watched South Park?
Are you kidding?
With Man Bear Pig?
It's my favorite show.
Okay, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
It really is, yeah.
But yeah, so like Elon Musk calls, they used to be called the mainstream media. Now he calls them the legacy media because there are so many different independent journalists out there that are actually doing their part and actually doing the work that CNN used to do back in the 80s and 90s, right? And you can tell when their downfall was, especially during COVID, whenever they called all these journalists and these physicians that were preaching about, hey, maybe the vaccine, isn't what it's cracked out to be. They were
don't say.
They were being labeled, conspiracy theorists. So they lost so much credibility during that time frame. And I think that's why you're seeing the rise of, the Laura Loomers or the Nick Shirleys or Nick Sorter that I met at AmFest for the second time. Amazing guy, by the way, if you guys don't follow him.
Yeah.
Follow him.
I do follow.
Yeah, he seems like a good kid.
Yes.
You know how it's interesting when you take two sound bites and play them together and they take on a whole new context? You'd mentioned that Al Gore, 20-plus years ago, took credit for inventing the internet.
Yes.
Can I play a sound bite for everybody real quick?
Please.
It's two sound bites you all know and love, but you never really thought about them before until side by side.
You got a business. That you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own.
I took the initiative in creating the internet.
Beautiful. That was a masterpiece, Kenny.
Obama says you didn't create that, and yet Al Gore says he did. Somebody's lying to us. Who is telling the truth? At Steve Loves Ammo.
Oh man, no one's telling the truth. Let's be honest.
Nobody is ever telling the truth. All right, you guys, we live in a society, right? And you love guns, but you lost all your guns in a canoe accident, Don Hooper from the Houston Conservative Forum, right?
I haven't, and my grandfather owned a gun club and was a gunsmith, and people ask me all the time, Don, how many guns do you have? And I literally do not know.
Here, get this in your face there.
I literally don't know.
You don't know how many, but it's at least a half a gun for sure.
Half a gun for sure, and probably less than 3,000, but definitely more than 1,000.
Steve, you don't have any guns, right?
Well, I did not have any between 2020 and 2024. Now I'm in possession, possibly. Maybe I'm in the recovery process from the boating accident.
Same to me as well. I misplaced my guns right after Trump left office, and then weirdly found them, right? When
Did
he
you
came.
get flooded out?
Yeah, I got flooded up.
Oh, I didn't.
We have something fascinating happening here in our city now, and not a lot of cities can say that they have this. And look, everyone in this room is a law-abiding citizen that's not going to, do anything with a gun we shouldn't be doing. But KHOU here in Houston reports that Houston is now the first city with Walmart drone delivery services. It's exactly what it sounds like. They will bring things to your house, including medication, drugs, over the counter, I'm told. But, you can get it. Groceries, last-minute gifts, that sort of thing. They will deliver it right to your house using drone delivery services. There's one in Crosby, Katy, one in Houston. There's two in Katy, and then there's one in Kemah. I think we're all thinking the same thing right now. Steve, what do you expect to happen when robots are flying through the sky holding groceries and other expensive items?
I'm just going to say target practice and reap the benefits.
How could it not? Who could do anything about it? You think police have time for this?
No.
Look, I love the
Not
idea.
our police.
No, not HPD. No.
I love the idea of new modern services and technology. I am in no way advocating that people shoot drones out of the sky, but I'm what they call kind of a pessimist when it comes to my opinions about other people's general human behavior. I don't expect people to behave well. People are stealing crap out of the back of trucks already. Why wouldn't they steal this stuff, Don?
Well, it'll be interesting because we have zip codes, and politically we look at, okay, this is a Democratic neighborhood or this is a Republican neighborhood by proportion of registered voters. And I will guarantee the drones being shot out of the sky are going to hit in the Democratic neighborhoods.
Sure. Yeah. It's not going to be Tanglewood.
It's not going to be River Oaks or
No.
Tanglewood. They're going to be blasted out.
It's probably not going to be Uptown, right?
I'm just going to say, look at the locations that they're launching from. And I do not notice any of them inside of the 610 loop.
No.
Actually,
I was just looking at that.
You've got a great point. Where's Farm to Market 529?
Oh, that's way out there.
Is it really? Is that
So-
just because that's where it's coming from? Will they deliver anywhere? Or I don't quite claim to know all the details,
Well,
but
are those the super centers? Is that the address?
that's what it's saying. I think that's where they're coming from.
Oh, okay.
Store 3298. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. How long does this go on for before they presumably stop doing it? Because it's, I was in Chicago during Christmas break, and because Mom lives there, and I saw one of those things I never seen before. The robot food delivery. Have you guys ever seen this before? They have them in big cities. We don't really have them in Houston. I've never seen one.
They have them in Travis County and Austin. I've seen them there.
This is in, here's a photo of one in Chicago. WGN, there it is. Yeah, WGN, the superstation in Chicago. They had a picture of it, but I clicked the link. There it is. So, okay, it's over here by the river. This has food in it. It's called Joel. I don't have any crime data on this stuff at all, but I got to think these things are getting knocked over and stolen all the time.
Yeah, I've actually seen those same vehicles in China, or maybe China.
China.
How do you pronounce it like Trump? China.
Dude, I do
But
love
anyways,
China.
Anyways, yeah, they're like, it's a compilation video of them wrecking all over the place. But one thing being prior service, I noticed about this, how easy would it be to pack that with explosives and send that for a delivery, say, to like a convention center?
I mean, that's a scary idea, but you're right.
China. You go over to China.
I do love when he says China. I do. Do you remember that video, this thing we're watching in the background right now, this montage of Trump saying China over and over again? The Huffington Post created this video in 2015 to make fun of Donald Trump for being so concerned about China. This video is over 10 years old at this point. It's his presidential ambitions are older than 10 years at this point, but they mocked him. They laughed at the man for suggesting this would be a serious issue. And look at where we are now, Don.
You know, if they do something like this with Trump, who was it? Lindsey Graham, who thought it would be funny to put Donald Trump's phone number out on the public after he did it to him.
That's right.
And Trump changed the answering machine. Please vote for Donald Trump. I mean, it was one of the,
it's very clever.
And then, and you know this, you know, Trump's people looked at this and went, "We can get an ad out of this."
All right, we are live on the radio on KPRC 950 94.53 HD. You can hear us on FM in Houston, Texas. Of course, many of you are just watching us on social media right now. Thousands of you are. More with @SteveLovesAmmo and Don Hooper from the Houston Conservative Forum coming up right after this.
We're not passive-aggressive. Like some people we know, this is Kenny Webster's Pursuit of Happiness.
Hey, I am fiddling around here in the studio because I'm running a board, which is radio jargon. That just means I'm operating the equipment while we're on the radio. But while I am doing that, Don Hooper and @SteveLovesAmmo are live in the building. Follow them on social media. And on that note, Don, you're running for Harris County Republican Party chairman. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was on a Spaces with a group of people, including people from the Attorney General's office, who thought they were trying to convince me to run for party chair. And I, on Tuesday mornings, I go fight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Did it start off as a joke with like a guy making memes, and then finally you were like, fine, I'll run?
Well, I went to go meet my trainer, my fight guy, and Rachel has a different ringtone on my phone, and it goes through, and she's ringing me at the gym, and I'm like, well, she knows where I am. Something's happened, and something's likely to happen with my wife that she needs to get a hold of me. And so I stopped everything I was doing, and she goes, "You're running for party chair?" And I said, "What are you talking about? I just got off told everybody I was not doing that." And they go, "Well, they thought it'd be real funny if they put a meme out there on the internet that you are," and it went kind of viral. And yeah, and I went and met her, and she, you know, we talked about it, and I called a friend of mine, former military officer, and he used to run elections here in Harris County. And I said, "Hey, you know, George, what do you think?" And he goes, "Don, you could win, and then you're president of Angola." And and you know, and I had to look that up, and I think the last 6 presidents of Angola have all been murdered in office. And
oh yeah, well, what's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that in mind, I want to talk more about this. We are live right now in the studio @SteveLovesAmmo here. Don Hooper is here. Stand by. We are going back onto the radio right now. All right. A new study concludes there are no official health benefits to smoking marijuana. None. Okay, maybe there are a few health benefits, but they're all ruined when you binge on Twinkies. And I think that's really, that's the gist of it. It's like, all right, it's good for inflammation and glaucoma, but when you eat a box of Little Debbie's right after you get high, the health benefits go away, Don Hooper. They really do. As you're running for chairman of the Harris County Republican Party, and some people might think that your personal political policies are the most important part of your position as chairman, but that's not necessarily true. It's more about recruiting people, fundraising, organization. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, I mean, by definition, it's running the primary election and the elections for Harris County as the Republican Party. But as I tell people out on the campaign trail, the most important job is to answer the phone when people call.
Right.
And apparently that's not being done. It's one of the bigger comments I get. And probably the most comments I get about is the fact that our current chairman has taken money from Colony Ridge. And
most people may not know that. That's a big deal. And she's not the only person. There's more than one prominent local Republican that's received money from Colony Ridge. Is that right?
There's several, but
real quick, could you name them? Do you know who they are?
Well, Greg Abbott has.
Okay.
Briscoe Cain has.
Briscoe Cain's running against Alex Mueller for Congress.
Correct.
Yeah, and is there one other person in that race too?
I think the most interesting guy in the race is Steve Stockman.
Steve Stockman is running. I forgot about that.
Yeah, a really interesting guy, and I didn't really know him before he went to prison, but he wound up going to prison.
I did know Steve Stockman before he went to prison. I always thought he was a nice guy.
A very nice guy.
He's a Tea Party guy. He is the Tea Party guy. He tried to impeach Obama, and then a lot of people think the lawfare, that he was one of the first victims of lawfare. Rod Blagojevich, Henry Cuellar. Would you agree that these people, maybe what they did wasn't actually that bad in the grand scheme of things compared to what other people are doing in Washington?
You know, as a local politician going to prison, you're okay, you remember that. And he was a congressman, but what I didn't know, and I've recently learned in conversations with him, is that Jack Smith prosecuted him. And Jack Smith obviously has prosecuted lots of high-profile Republicans, arguably lawfare, and I would say lawfare. But there was a group of people from the Department of Justice that participated in that activity, and I did not realize that he was one of the first targets of that. And I do, appreciate the president for
letting him out. It was also during COVID, if I'm not mistaken, because Steve had some health issues. For those that don't remember, Special Counsel Jack Smith trying to prosecute Donald Trump in not one, but two major criminal cases. One of them was for mishandling classified documents. Now, even if you think Donald Trump did do something wrong there, it's hard to look at Joe Biden. I mean, Steve, you must have been all over this when Joe Biden had classified documents sprinkled all over the country, right?
Yes, and in his library, and then in his garage that his son was renting.
That was the same guy that that put Steve Stockman in jail. I don't think most people realize that.
Well, I didn't realize it. And the best story, there were a lot of good stories coming out of filing, but when he was up there filing with the Republican Party of Texas, which he had to do in Austin, there was a woman who from New York, she was a lawyer and she happened to be in New York, who was filing to run in CD 38, and she thought that the Republican Party of Texas was her filing authority.
And it wasn't.
And it was the last day, and it was not, because CD 38 is all in Harris County, and so the filing authority is the Harris County Republican Party. And Steve Stockman's sitting there listening in the offices of the Republican Party of Texas to this woman's dilemma, and said, you know what? I'm going to drive her application down to Houston and make sure that she gets on file.
Huh.
I mean, I just thought it was, and everybody that was in the office went, that is just incredibly kind of you to do that. And he did it.
It seems pretty innocent. He always seemed like a nice guy to me. Steve, you have chosen not to live in Houston, Texas. You live near Houston.
Correct.
But you intentionally don't live in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Is that more about politics or cost of living or personal preference or what?
Yes.
All of it.
All of it.
It's all
I
of it.
do not like to live in a HOA.
Yeah, well, the HOA thing. Yeah, no, I get that.
I used to live in a HOA, and they would come around and say, oh, you can't have your trash can in the front. Oh, you can't be visible from the street. Or your grass is too green, It just happens to be clover. So and I'm like, find me, go ahead.
Really?
I dare you.
Yeah.
So I bought 13 acres.
So you've
good for you.
Is that big enough to qualify as a ranch, or is it just a lot of
I
land?
just call it Steve-a-palooza.
Yeah, it's Steve-a-palooza. I like Steve-a-palooza.
Yeah.
I think that is very cool. All right, guys. So everybody's eyes are focused right now on Minneapolis. Everybody's paying attention to what is going on in Minnesota. It's hard to ignore it. There are two things everyone's paid attention to this poor woman that died, and I wish no harm on her. Our side doesn't celebrate when other people die, but you got to admit, if you go up and you poke a bear, you're probably going to get slashed. You're going to get attacked by a bear. If you went up and started throwing rocks into a pit of lava, you might have some lava splash back on you.
Right.
They claim that this woman, Renee Good, was trained on how to go out and mess with ice or whatever.
Yes.
And she has kids, but I've noticed that a lot of the other people out there doing this are women in her age group that seem to be childless. Many people, I'm not the first to point this out, have tried to make the point that women have a predisposed, they're matriarchal. They want to go out and mother and protect people, right? And these are liberals. They're on the left. I'm not criticizing people for not having kids. I don't have any kids, but the question becomes, are they doing this to themselves? Are they getting involved in this because of that? It's this instinct to go out and be motherly, and they don't have anybody to be motherly with, so they're trying to protect people they don't know because CNN's told them that they're victims. What's your thought on that?
Well, first of all, I think typically those would be cat ladies, right? So why not just nurture your kitties, I guess. But anyways, one point I want to make out about Karen Good that no one seems to be talking about a lot. If Karen Good was murdered by an illegal immigrant, you wouldn't know what her name is.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Don, would you agree with that?
100%. Not, and also too, whoever trained her, we definitely need to get her survivor to get Tony Busby's phone number and probably ask for some remuneration back.
What is this group that's going
Not
out?
very good training.
Yeah, well, Tony, he's great, a great guy. The Lincoln Project has humiliated itself again. For those who don't remember what the Lincoln Project is, it's a group of people who I think one of their founders actually got into trouble for grooming teenage boys or something. But the whole thing is that they claim to be the real Republicans, and these new Republicans are the fake Republicans. They took to social media this week and they said Anne Frank was forced into hiding in Nazi Germany because armed soldiers were going door to door demanding papers. And if your papers said you were Jewish, they captured you and sent you to a camp. Today, Anne would have been 99 years old. This was not that long ago. Is this it seems a little marginalizing. Wouldn't you say so, Don?
The Lincoln Project, so there's this building next door to the Capitol that, to me, it's the home of the Lincoln Project.
Right.
Most of the offices or the people that office there, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but certainly Karl Rove offices in that building and others that are tied to the Lincoln Project that there's something very creepy that happens there, and I'm not sure what it is. And interestingly enough, the guy that you're talking about, Mr. Weaver, I forget his first name, but he was a political consultant around here, around this area. And Ben, who was the black guy that ran for mayor, personal injury lawyer?
Oh, in Houston?
Ben, can't think of his name, but Weaver ran his mayoral campaign. Ben Hall.
Yeah,
And,
right. This was back in 2015, right?
Yeah.
It was like a decade ago. I remember him, yeah.
Weaver was involved with that campaign.
Interesting.
And some of his staff were, and it was just, and that was exploding into the media, his dalliances with young boys.
Yeah, look, isn't it interesting? What's that old expression? God, I ask just one thing: make my enemies ridiculous. And here, and that's exactly what they are. All right, I find it kind of just marginalizing how everything has to be reduced to Nazism. But okay, that's fine. So they had a fight break out. I want to put something up on the screen here for those of you watching us on social media at the moment. There was a walkout. They had a protest in Minnesota at a high school against ICE, obviously, and they had to break up the fight and cancel the walkout I'm sorry, it's not at a high school. It's at a Minnesota Capitol. Students organized a walkout against the federal government, but they had to end the political demonstration early because they started a fight. Who started the fight? Somalian teenagers.
Wow.
Here is another example of God making my enemies ridiculous. The whole point people are making here is maybe these Somalian people in Minnesota don't mix well with Western society. They don't
Correct.
share our values. They don't share our ethics. And they want to prove that that's not true, so they go to protest us. They get into a fight with each other. They're not fighting ICE. Like, these are Somalian teenagers punching each other in the Capitol.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, maybe they figured this out at one of their Leering centers.
At the
whenever they were-
Leering, yeah.
when they're growing up.
I think it was at Finna Lear something center.
Possibly.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
after they ate the Mogadishu poo-poo platter.
Dude, have you
remember that.
tried Somalian food?
I have not.
Next time we come in here, if I get
Yes.
some Somalian food, will you try eating it, Don? Live on camera?
What do they eat?
Oh God, have you not seen?
Rice, beans.
Have you not seen? I mean, who knows what it is? What?
It's kind of like microplastics with the Dixie plates, you know, just kind of.
Don,
all
have
in it.
you weren't here for this? We did an
How's it
episode
going?
one day with Gavin McInnes and a handful of others. Have you not seen the video of Mayor Jacob Fry eating the Somalian food?
Oh, I think I have seen that.
There are two very insincere videos of Jacob Fry.
Yeah.
One of them
and
where
he's eating with his hands?
well, they give him a paper plate.
Yes.
And Gavin had pointed out on the air, he's like, it's the mayor of the city.
Right.
You guys couldn't even bring out the good dishes for him. It's just slop, and they throw it down.
Oh,
on,
dude, yeah.
And he's eating it, and he's trying not to. And there's this other video of him crying at the George Floyd funeral. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, same.
Do you remember that 5 years ago? We didn't learn his name at the time.
Correct.
Jacob Fry didn't matter as much then, but now everyone's learned his name.
Yes.
Here's a question. Don, you've watched political careers rise and fall over the years. To leftists, do you think, does Jacob Fry look good right now? I mean, he's connected to the same scandals as Tim Walz, and Tim Walz has to leave the governorship.
Well, I think both of them have definitely stirred up the riots in their city when they all become under investigation over all the money that's been stolen from the federal government. And eventually this will end, and these guys are going to have to answer for all the money in their campaign coffers and where it came from. And not to mention all the money that was sent back to Somalia that belongs to the American taxpayers. It's tragic. It's awful. But I think it's widespread. I think we have a lot of that here occurring in Houston. I think we have it occurring in a lot of the major urban areas of our country. And, you know, they say California is the worst, but Texas is always tied up there on that.
There is no place in America more diverse per capita than Houston. We're second per capita. No, we're number one per capita for diversity in the country. Number two for total numbers right after New York City. There's plenty of people here from Africa. We don't have this happening. What makes Houston different? We have Somalians and Ethiopians and Nigerians here. I don't know if the Somalian community is as big, but plenty of Nigerian Catholics come here to Houston. They become doctors and engineers and lawyers. I know them. They go to my church. We don't have anything happening like this. Why is Houston different?
So the people that work in my building are there's a large Burkina Faso group here, and one of the people I interact with every day was a lawyer there, and he works for our building and is one of the best employees. I mean, just one of the nicest people. Something happens in the building, he's there. He was an Army officer in Burkina Faso and a lawyer. He is a very close personal friend of mine. It's just these stories are amazing. He tells about his country and what had happened there. And there's several other people that work in and around our building from that country. And we have people from all over, from Honduras, and I live in a pretty big high rise, there's a group of women from Honduras who are actually U.S. citizens that live in our building who were the biggest supporters of Donald Trump. It was amazing to me.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to them about it, I said, why? And they go, Don, the gangsters in our neighborhoods, my children, Donald Trump helped. Donald Trump, is helping us. And
is Houston a blue city or a purple city?
I think it's a purple city.
I would agree.
And I think that I think a lot of conservatives and a lot of people have quit voting. And they've quit voting because they felt like that their participation wasn't meaningful. We have people that have created an infrastructure for illegal aliens in the sanctuary city status in the city of Houston, and I'm bound and determined to do away with that. We can't get property tax relief if all of our property taxes are diverted to educating and providing health care to illegal aliens. And it's been very detrimental in trying to get property tax reform. Everybody's like, well, we can't undo that until we separate those two. And I do believe that there's a very big movement within the state legislature to begin to separate that out. And here in Houston, it's amazing to me, the Harris Health, our entity that's run by the county, the hospital district, a huge percentage of their funds go to people in this country without permission. Stunning number.
I don't like it. Yeah, it's frustrating. Can you explain real quick before we break, and then I want Steve to explain to us what happened with X today when it went offline. But real quick, a lot of people seem to be frustrated with Harris County Republican Party Chairwoman Cindy Siegel because of what's going on with the primaries. She had to go to Harris County Commissioner's Court a week or two ago and explain this, and that was right around the time when a lot of people started pushing you to run for Harris County Republican Party Chairman. Can you explain what happened?
Well, in 2024, for the first time, that the Harris County Republican Party had a joint primary with the Democrats. And what that means is that the Democrats get to choose locations and who are election judges and actually who is running the primary election for the Republicans.
Well, what could possibly go wrong, you know?
Well, in 2022, I was involved heavily, and my wife was involved heavily with the 22 election fraud cases that were filed, and Rachel raised the money for the judges to make sure they didn't have to go out of their pockets to pay for all that as the general counsel of the Republican Party of Texas. And the Republican Party of Texas raised money to make sure they could challenge those cases in court. And it was a huge fiasco, but I do think we're making progress, and there was one big change made in the law, and I will attribute it to Paul Bettencourt. And Paul Bettencourt changed the law that we can challenge elections not based on fraud, because somebody would have to go in and say, I voted for this person, somehow my vote got switched. Very difficult to prove. Now is all we have to prove is that the true election results are not knowable. And actually, we won that case in court.
Wow.
And I say the Republican Party did, and Rachel did, and there was a lawyer that did that. But I do think that's the way forward, that when we have so much fraud and there's so much damage done to the election process, whether you're shorting paper or you got weird mail-in ballots or whatnot, and you look at the totality of the election itself, a judge can say, we don't know who won this race.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Look, I think it's one more reason why a lot of people are excited that you're running for chairman of the Harris County Republican Party. At Steve Loves Ammo is in the room. Don Hooper is here. We have to take a quick break. If you're watching us live streaming on the internet, we'll be back in seconds, so don't go anywhere. If you're listening on the radio, here comes a word from some fantastic sponsors that you might want to support.
Our doctor told us the pills we took were just a placebo, but he must not know what he's talking about because, man, those suckers worked. This is Kenny Webster's Pursuit of Happiness.
All right, we are live in the studio right now, and while I am getting us ready for our next segment, Steve, what's going on with the rhino removal project? What's going on with all your side projects and stuff like that?
So Rhino Removal Project is a America First grassroots organization. We are on the federal level. We're trying to go after rhinos in Congress and the House of Representatives.
The biggest race you've been involved in locally, I think, is Toth versus Crenshaw, but there's other ones too, right?
Yeah, Shelley Capito.
Tell us about that.
We have different state chapter leads throughout the country. We're operating in 14 states now with 14 state chapter leads. Our largest, obviously, is here in Texas. We're heavily so Rhino Removal Project. We're not an endorsement organization, what we do is voter education.
It's more
So-
about who not to vote for.
It's kind of like an indirect endorsement because the rhinos that are in office, like for the pirates that are in office, we'll talk about them and what they do, and they have the public outburst, whether it's young girls at a town hall meeting or on the internet and drunken posts.
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not naming names. I mean, you guys can pick up what I'm putting down.
I think so. Yeah.
Also, we're very opposed to John Cornyn. We believe he's one of the worst ones besides Lindsey Graham. So Ken Paxton's a very viable candidate.
What's
within
wrong
that
with
race.
Lindsey? Lindsey's a man's man. He's a manly guy.
Oh, is he?
He wants to
is he
bring
in
home-
Ukraine still? I don't know.
Well, he wants to bring all these brown boys home from Afghanistan. They're nice and
that's a
tan
terrible
and
idea.
bronzed and they can all stay at Lindsey's house.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, if you love him so much, have them in your house.
I think Lindsey it might be the one guy that would be okay with it.
It's a party.
Actually, I don't think he would,
Gosh.
I don't think he would mind that much. All right, do you know what's going on? X has been down all day, and it went online
Yeah.
right when we started this live stream. Do you know what happened, Steve? What the heck happened?
So what I'm kind of noticing a pattern. Did you realize yesterday, or maybe the day before, it was Verizon and T-Mobile having issues?
T-Mobile did something I've never seen. I'm a T-Mobile guy. I signed up for it when they partnered with Elon Musk because I wanted to get StarNet on my phone.
Okay.
Which I have now. It's called T-Satellite. It's not quite what StarNet does, but it uses the same network.
Right.
I get a text message the other day from T-Mobile. I've never seen them do this before. They go, just so you know, our network's working fine today. If you're having trouble calling people, that's because of Verizon. But what were you saying?
Wow, throw him under the bus. So it was a Cloudflare issue. So to kind of explain how it operates, the Amazon Web. So X is just the platform itself, right? But behind the scenes, you have different hosts that actually are able to push the content online. So Amazon Web is the content hoster. Cloudflare is the content delivery. So a lot of people were experiencing, posts can't load now. Was a delivery issue. So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on nationwide. I don't know if it was a DDoS attack. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, denial of service attack. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
You send a lot of information at a server so that it's getting so many requests that suddenly other
just
people
bogs-
can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They bog it down with bots or whatever.
Right,
you
it
wanna call
freezes it
yeah.
up so other people can't connect to the server. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do see a noticeable pattern when this happens, though. If any content creators are get ad revenue sharing, it happens on a Friday. It's bi-weekly, and it seems like it always happens on that day. I don't know if there's any kind of attributing factor to that, but I don't know how to package this and say this is exactly what happened.
Because we don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's all speculation, but it is interesting stuff here. We're getting messages from a lot of people as we're live streaming. We have to do one more radio segment soon, but while we're in the pause for commercial break here, I wanted to address this. Let's see. Conservative Pen says, quiet, everyone. The show is on. Steve, it's none of my business, but I notice a lot of your Twitter followers are pretty blonde women. Is there a reason why?
maybe they just like the beard. I don't know, man.
Ed Blankenship says, hey, let's see. Carnificus Maximus says, Don and Steve, let's go. Rachel Hooper says, Don Hooper for Harris County.
Nice.
I believe that she does support you. We do as well. Buzz Adams got arrested. What happened? Why did Buzz Adams get arrested?
Bud Adams?
It says Buzz Adams got arrested at Daniel. Oh, I closed it. That's my bad. I wish I hadn't done that. Now I've lost the messages.
I don't know who that is.
Buzz Adams, is that, they're not, who is, they're not talking
Well,
about.
Bud Adams is dead.
El Paso radio host. Oh, new details revealed in arrest of El Paso KLAQ radio host Buzz Adams. El Paso rock radio host Buzz Adams allegedly had a cold beer, a loaded revolver, a burnt joint, and a THC pen in his black Cadillac when he was pulled over by El Paso County Sheriff's deputies over the weekend. I think I know why he got arrested.
Yeah.
Guys, I think I cracked the case here.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the guy, but he looks like a cool guy. But I don't think you should drive around with alcohol and booze. That seems problematic to me.
It sounds like a party animal.
Well, yeah, don't break the law. We don't advocate.
Exactly.
My wife would be giving a lecture about rolling PC about this time.
About doing what? What would she do?
Rolling probable cause.
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, there's something to be. She knows too. All right, let's go back on the air. You guys ready? Let's do one more segment, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Stand by. Stand by for action, as they used to say. All right. Warning. I'm about to say something this is getting a little randy, but we're all adults here. I think we can handle this.
Luckily, I'm sitting down.
A laboratory in Canada has launched the world's first mail-in semen analysis kit. In other words, mailmen now have something to worry about besides dogs, guys. I think it just got a little harder to be a mail. Was it Denmark that just got rid of their entire postal service? Have you heard this?
No.
They no longer have mailmen, the Danes. And you know how great they are. Look how good they're doing at running Greenland. All right, should we invade Greenland? Steve, you go first.
I think it would be a good way to send the registered Democrats over. We can have them go work over. Oh no, just kidding. They don't work.
They don't seem to be working.
I mean, I think Trump is offering $10 million per resident. Am I hearing that correctly? I thought it was $2
to pay for to buy it. Right.
Right.
Isn't it interesting how so many different news outlets report on this? They'll tell the same thing completely differently. The White House isn't ruling out a military invasion of Greenland. That's not true. They just wouldn't answer a dumb question about it.
Right.
That's not the same thing as saying we're going. Does anyone really think we're going to invade Greenland with bullets and bombs and rockets?
It's so ridiculous.
It's totally comical. But still, you watch CNN and ABC News. I don't think they get it, guys. You can't do this anymore. You can't just blatantly lie about stupid crap and get away with it.
Well, who would they be fighting?
Yeah,
I mean,
they wouldn't be fighting anybody. There's so many MAGA. I've seen Trump hats.
Yeah.
Greenland people wearing them.
And you got to think that the people of Greenland are going to go, wait a minute, Denmark. $10 million, Denmark.
Right.
It's
I could buy a nice ranch in Wyoming with $10 million.
It seems a little contradictory.
I mean, we can, I mean, in on theory, we could, right? But I think they're just playing off that we just captured another nation's president in the middle of the night in like hours.
There's still a part of me that wonders if Trump's never been interested in doing this at all. He just talks about it because he knows when he does it, the media gets distracted. It's a carrot on a stick. The donkey sees it and they run over here, and now they're not going to talk about what's going on. They can't criticize the tariffs. They're too busy getting mad about the Greenland thing that's not actually happening. It is. I don't know. Yeah. I could be wrong. I want to put something up on the screen here for the people watching us on social media right now. I'm so old. How old are you? Thank you. I'm so old. I can remember when the mayor of New York City said he doesn't use a fork so he can eat rice. He doesn't use it. He just eats rice. He said, that's how we do it, my third worlders. Sup, y'all. We be eating rice up in here, just scooping it up with our hands, which is gross, right? For I don't care about cultural stuff or whatever. I put sauce on my rice when I eat Chinese food or whatever.
Right.
You don't want your hands to be all sticky. Mom Donnie, who won't use a fork, says you know what Gracie Mansion is? New York City has a mansion for the mayor to live in it. Most cities don't, but they do. He's going to put bidets in. You're a communist. You need warm water to sprinkle your butt crack after you. Look, hey, I stayed at I go to the Silver Slipper Casino a lot. It's an advertiser for the Walton and Johnson show. They're in South Mississippi. Cool place to hang out. There's live entertainment. There's a steakhouse. They put us in a real nice suite upstairs. There's one of those fancy Japanese toilets. Have you guys ever used one of these?
I've only seen the South Park episode about the Japanese toilet.
It's Steve. Steve, it's exactly what you think.
Really? Is it magical? Does it sing to you?
Yes.
No.
Yes. You walk into the room and you could program it. I go into the room and it's like, oh, say, can you? And the toilet lid goes up like the American flag and the lights come on. I'm not a bidet guy. I'm not gay, but I do like the bidet at the Silver Slipper Casino. I always say that. I'm not gay, but I like the bidet. You know, and I wouldn't buy one for my house or whatever, but isn't that kind of weird? This guy's a communist.
Right.
His wife wore designer shoes that cost, $1,000 to his inauguration. He claims he won't use a fork to eat rice, but he needs a bidet. Steve, how do we dissect this?
I don't even know where to begin is the thing. So he's worried about cleanliness, but not hygiene, I guess.
For his ass crack.
Right.
But not... Come
his
on.
Hands. I don't. Okay.
John,
so typically, being a Muslim.
Sure, being a Muslim.
How they clean themselves, right?
They don't use their right hand. Or they don't use their left hand. They don't shake with their left hand.
Right.
That's a
Yes.
thing in an Islamic country. Have you ever
Yes.
been to an Islamic country?
I have.
Which one did you go to, Don?
I've been to Kuwait.
You've been to Kuwait. You did.
Oh,
Okay.
Al Salim? Is that what-
Well, I was over there for
Oil and gas stuff.
yes.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was speaking military.
Yeah.
The air base over there.
Well, you've
Okay.
been to the Mid East because
Yes.
you can't talk about it a lot on the air, right? But
I can talk about some stuff, yeah.
all right,
That's
what can you tell us about it?
Well, I've been to, let's say, Kyrgyzstan. I've been to Kuwait. I've been to Iraq and to Afghanistan.
Kurdistan, that's not a real country. You made that up.
Kurdistan. I said Kyrgyzstan.
There's no Kyrgyzstan. This is like Dearbornistan. You're
Pretty much, yeah.
Steve, you are a liar. You're messing with me,
That's
man.
fine.
We like the Kurds, though, right?
Well, no, this Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, Kyrgyzstan.
This is north of Afghanistan.
It's Kirkmenistan. It's called. What happened there? What did you-
Turkmenistan, you mean?
That's not a real place.
Uzbekistan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are all the real countries, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. So
But
what happened?
the worst
while you
thing
were
I've
there?
seen
Yeah.
with cleanliness or hygiene is an individual. He was a local. So on bases, we would I guess hire locals to come on and assist with dining facility, very low level type stuff. But there was a gentleman that had went and he used the latrine or the porta potty, and I noticed he was washing his hands after. And it happened to be in a water bottle, and it was blue.
Oh God.
And you can pretty much imagine what he used to wash his hands with.
Bro, no way.
Yes.
Get out. Do you get what he's saying, Don?
Oh, I do. But I mean, you see that, through. I've lived in Latin America. I lived in Venezuela. I lived
Where
in
did you go in
Caracas.
Latin America?
Oh, well, I lived in Caracas. I lived in Mexico City, and I lived in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
I have a problem right now that's so white it comes with dehydrated kale chips and and a Coldplay album. I'm dating this girl. She's a very beautiful woman. She prosecutes pedophiles for a living, and she's a lot of fun to hang out with. We went skiing recently. We had a good time. And I told her, wouldn't it be cool if we could ski when it's like 110 degrees in the middle of August? Wouldn't it be cool to go down to like, Chile or whatever and ski down there for a week? She said, yeah, let's do it. Let's look into it. We look into it. It's an 8-hour flight. I've never been any farther south than Costa Rica. It's an 8-hour flight to get down there. The prices weren't unreasonable. Obviously, it's a long trip. The thing that's making me not want to do it, I can't get a fully sized adult-sized bed. This is a 5-star resort by Chile standards, and it's thousands of dollars. Not unreasonable. It's not like tens of thousands, but it's not cheap. I was like, all right, every single package, 2 twin beds, 1 double bed. I was like, this is not going to work for me.
Right.
Guys, I am 6'3". I'm almost 6'4". I'm a big guy. I can't sleep in a twin size bed by myself, much less with like a woman that I'm courting. How is that
Right.
going to work? Where did you live, Don?
Well, I lived in Caracas, Venezuela, and Caracas was a beautiful city.
This must have been before socialism.
Yes,
A long time ago.
Yeah, well, I was
Hugo Chavez.
I was there when Hugo Chavez pulled his first coup that failed,
Wow.
and it was kind of interesting. It ended pretty quickly, but just a stunningly beautiful country. I mean, some of the best fishing I've ever participated in. The Angel Falls, the Tepuis, they have like these huge plateaus that you would see in Utah or New Mexico, and they have rainforest on top of them with these beautiful waterfalls falling. They're called Tepuis. I mean, it's just a stunningly gorgeous country, and what had happened to it was just awful.
I think he's just describing the women over there.
I think so too. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing
BBLs.
I think the first thing I learned when I lived over there was that I think like they had like 7 Miss Universes from Venezuela. I mean, just
One of them ran for office here in Houston recently, didn't she? Didn't Miss Venezuela run for Sheila's old seat, if I'm not mistaken?
I think she's Colombian.
Is she Colombian? What's the difference?
Yeah.
Speaking of pedo hunters,
Pedo hunters. Tell me more.
we just had Craig Sawyer on our podcast.
Oh, he's a YouTube guy. Is he from Colombia?
No, he lives in Spring.
Okay,
But he's had 70 international convictions of child traffickers.
you're telling me there are not one but 2 prominent YouTube media personalities who hunt down pedophiles from Houston? Do you know Alex Rosen?
Yes.
He's been on the show before. His is called Predator Hunters.
Yeah. Huge ginger guy.
They're two different groups.
Hmm.
Alex is a very funny guy. I don't
Yeah.
endorse everything he's ever said. On,
His ex is pretty interesting. I'll say that.
Why? What? Oh, his ex account.
Oh yeah, he drops hard R.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't endorse that.
Yeah, me either.
He says, he's friends with a lot of black guys and he's Jewish. I don't know what the rules are. I wouldn't drop. I'm not a hard R guy myself. I don't
struggle.
But
I'm just kidding.
but whatever. I guess it's. I'm not the person that's supposed to be offended by that. Someone else is. But
yeah, I'm never offended by anything.
quickly getting away from this topic
Yes.
real quick. So we don't know why X went down today, but we do
Right.
know this. It's always fun to end the show with some good news. Can we end the show with some good news
Absolutely.
today? I love this news story today. There's two things today that I found to be very fascinating before we wrap it up in here. First of all, how much would you pay to go to? We were just talking about a hotel in Chile that I didn't want to stay at because the beds were too small. How much would you guys pay to spend a night on the moon?
On the moon?
On the moon. It is, guy. We're talking in the next 4 years here. Supposedly, a startup is accepting reservations for a planned new hotel, which will be on the moon. It's a Silicon Valley startup accepting reservations. You have to start by putting down $1,000, and then if you want to, you can pay anywhere from $250,000 to $1 million, $250,000 to $1 million to per guest. And there's a reason this is so expensive. It is on the moon. It's called GRU Space, GRU Space, planning to build a permanent outpost on the lunar surface by 2032. Okay. Early construction estimated to begin by 2029. This seems very ambitious. I guess this is a two-part question for you, Steve. Do you believe them, and would you do it if you had the money?
If I had a blank check,
If
like
you
I
had
had endless
250
funds,
Obviously, this
I would
is
do
for
it
very
in a
rich people.
heartbeat. Absolutely.
Bro, I am so into this.
I love space, dude. I love watching Discovery, where they talk about the different planets and man, I can't remember the names of the shows right now, but
I feel the same way. Two things I'm gay for: space exploration and bidets. Nothing else.
I wonder if the hotels on the moon will have bidets.
I want to find out why the astronaut was evacuated out of the space station before I put in my bed.
Have you? Well, hey, let's talk about that for a minute. While we're on space, we had to get an astronaut off the ISS for a medical emergency. It's never happened before. They won't tell us why. Some people speculate there could have been like an alien being coming out of its chest cavity. Don Hooper, what do you think? What do you think the truth is, Don Hooper, Houston Conservative Forum?
Well, I would like to say that what would NASA do without Elon? Because our spaceship wasn't getting up there, and so we had to use SpaceX. But
second time, Boeing too. That remember last year,
right?
Boeing couldn't get two astronauts off the ISS,
right?
And Elon Musk could, and the media made it look like he was the bad guy.
Yeah, and there was big discussion about it that we got to use Boeing, we got to use the NASA, and then on this occasion we don't know what's wrong with this astronaut. It was, hey Elon, get up there quick,
Yeah, pretty much like yesterday.
And he did. He got him off, and I watched. I think I reshared Elon's shot from San Francisco Harbor or the bay there of the Dragon ship coming into San Diego.
Right.
And it was amazing. And but I want to find out what's wrong with that astronaut before I put my bid in to go.
Yeah, I'd like to know too. Steve, any speculation? What do you think happened?
So I'm gonna make this a South Park hat trick today. This is the
Sock it
first
to me.
ever.
Yeah.
First South Park episode, anal probe.
Oh, that's right. The first ever episode of South Park, Cartman gets an anal probe.
Yep.
And it was a giant. Oh my God! I remember being 14 years old and watching South Park, and they would make fun of. I don't care if they made fun of Trump this last season.
I think it's hilarious.
I think the
personally.
difference between our side and their side is we can laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Lorne Michael, SNL producer, for 40 years now, was once famously asked, over 40 years, 50 years, was once famously asked, Lauren, why do you only make fun of conservatives on your show? Is it because you're such a liberal? And in the interview, I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but his answer was always fascinating to me. He said, the reason why we make fun of Republicans and conservatives more than liberals and Democrats is because they can take a joke. People on the left do not have a sense of humor they cannot laugh at themselves.
Right.
They're very touchy. They're very easily offended. humor is, I mean, Republicans
I
saved.
never heard him say that.
Yeah, I always thought it was years ago. Republicans and conservatives and right wingers saved comedy, guys. I was at
100%. Yes.
I was at the Houston Improv last night watching a bunch of Ryan Long had 3 comics open up for him, a woman and 2 Jewish guys, and every single one of them was making jokes about Epstein and vaccines. They were making fun of it. Was like none of them came out and said they were Republicans, but they were making fun of they, thems, and this and that.
Yeah.
And the audience was loving it. At some point, Ryan Long did a bit last night about Harry Sison, Sison or Sisson.
Sisson, that's I don't know. Yeah.
For those who don't know,
that's the way I've heard it pronounced.
Harry Sisson.
Sisson.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Joe Biden had like a early 20-something guy that would write tweets and supposedly worked for the White House, and very young guy, and he had a scandal.
Oh, yeah.
His scandal was that he was talking to multiple girls on the internet at the same time in private chats.
Right.
And Ryan did a bit last night. He's like, guys, there's a lot of reason to make fun of Harry Sisson and not like him, but I don't know if this is it, right? Like he's an unmarried guy who talks to lots of chicks. This isn't the big humiliating scandal you guys are making it out to be.
No, not at all.
No.
I think he's like, he's so okay. So I don't think he's as delusional as everyone makes him out to be, because he is getting paid directly from the DNC to make these posts, and he is making hand over fist on X because the posts he makes are so outlandish. Big conservative accounts are like, oh, you're a.
Who's the other guy that he's friends with? Not Harry, the guy that he dances with in the video.
I could see his face right now.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Someone in the comments section, help me.
Someone will know real quick. There's a famous video of Harry.
Oh, Chris Mowry. Yeah,
Chris
there it is.
Mowry, that's it. Chris Mowry will always post these videos online where he's talking about how college is too expensive. It's not fair. And every time he posts one of these videos talking about the cost of college, Donald Trump's America, no one can afford to live in it. He's sitting in the front seat of what looks to me like he's in an Audi Q7 or whatever. It's like, this is a pretty nice car for a kid who can't pay for college. You're in an $80,000 SUV. That's what it looks like.
It's a lot more than 80 grand.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I love Audi. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, no. I bet those are crazy expensive cars.
It's not a cheap car. It's a German luxury automobile. Yeah. Maybe if you can't pay for college and you drive a German luxury automobile, you could sell your car. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Or don't study Game Boy and gender studies anymore.
Or go to trade school. How about that? Oh, no. He can't get calluses on his hand.
Get
out of here.
I love Brandon Creighton's comment about Texas Tech, and said if you're looking at gender studies at Texas Tech University, you may want to find another college.
I actually might start my own university, and I'll call it, Steve's Academy for Gender Studies. And there's one test.
What's the test?
How many genders are there?
I bet I could get
and it's a multiple choice. All 4 answers will have 2.
Wow.
So then, boom, you graduate.
Very radical.
Boom.
We got to run soon. Don Hooper, Houston Conservative Forum, running for Harris County Republican Party chairman. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here, my man?
Everybody have a great weekend. Cheer on the Texans. Rachel and I are having a space on Sunday at 6.
On X.
On X.
Excellent.
And we promise to have some exciting guests.
Steve, any closing thoughts?
No, just guys, follow me on all TikTok, Instagram, X, at Steve Loves Ammo. Tonight, if you're on X, probably about 8 p.m. Central, I will be hosting a space, and we're going to talk some smack. I'm just ready for it.
Well, to the rest of you, I am Kenny Webster. Tomorrow night, I will be hosting the Trump-Reagan Gala in Montgomery County. We hope you guys will be. The tickets are no longer available. Guests include Ken Paxton, our keynote speaker, Wesley Hunt, Pat Fallon's going to be there, Steve Toth, some guy that Steve Toth's running against for office. I can't even remember what his name is. But the point is, there's going to be a lot of fun happening tomorrow night if you're going to be there. To the rest of you, we'll be back bright and early Monday morning for more of what you bought a radio for. God bless you and God bless Texas.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you